her on the way to church.
Mrs. Lynn says she has a terrible temper.
I hear she talks a lot.
Jerry Butte, the Cuthbert's hired hand, said he overheard her talking to the trees and flowers like a crazy girl.
When we saw her, she was picking flowers and putting them in her hat. But I ought to think she's putting something else on her sleeves, like puffs. You should see the dress she's wearing. It's so unfashionable.
You guys are just looking at the outside things. She may be very nice on the inside.
Girls, may we please come to order? We only have a few minutes today because of the guest minister who is speaking at church. Now, if you'll open your quarterlies. Hello. You're late.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was on my way to church with Marilla, but she had one of her headaches, so she couldn't come. So I had to find the way to church all by myself.
Dallying all the while, I see, by picking flowers.
Oh, yes, daisies and buttercups, although red and yellow aren't becoming to me. I know.
In the future, I suggest you pin your bouquets to your dress, where they belong, like the other girls.
What's the difference where they're worn, as long as they're worn? I'm sorry. I'll just sit down.
Now, as I was saying before we were interrupted, open your quarterlies to this Sunday's question page, but do not look at the answers.
Yes, Miss Rogerson.
Now, I expect all of you, except for our new little orphan girl, of course, to know all of the answers.
Yes, Miss Rogerson.
On which day did God create the fish and the fowls? Yes?
On the 5th day, God created the fish and the fowls.
That is correct. Where was Cain sent after he had slain his brother Abel? Yes?
Cain was sent to the land of Nod, to the east of the Garden of Eden.
That's right. Now, what punishment did God visit on the evil serpent? All right, you again.
The evil serpent was sent to crawl on his belly and eat dust all the days of his life.
And she doesn't even have a quarterly. Child, how long have you been studying the Bible?
A week. Marilla's been teaching me.
You must be a fast learner.
Marilla's a fast teacher.
Girls in this class are encouraged to memorize and recite scriptural passages. Do you know any?
Well, I know the Lord's Prayer, but I guess everyone can do that one. Oh, I do know the dog at his master's grave. It isn't truly a religious piece, but it's sad and melancholy and might as well be.
I don't think that would be very appropriate.
I understand, but I promise by next week I'll have lots of scripture to recite.
Probably the entire Old Testament. Time for church. Oh, one final item. In 2 weeks, there will be a Sunday school picnic in Mr. Harmon Andrews' fields. And if you promise to know all of the answers to all of next Sunday's questions, as well as our little orphan girl knew them today, I think I could persuade Mrs. Bell and Mrs. Lynn to make ice cream. If you know the answers.
Yes, Miss Rogerson.
Now, go immediately to your pews in church. Don't dally. I understand the guest minister is quite punctual.